Let's do it.
I want people to understand that serving in ministry isn't just a task and then you go home. It's about who we're serving. Do we take pride in what we do? And does our work glorify the Lord? Whether it's performed in front of the church or behind the scenes. So really, he wants a decent explanation into why we serve as Christians. Very deep question, and I will say this, the grammar was horrendous, so I had to try to figure it out.
Maverick.
But Maverick, thank you for that, bro. It's a very good question, man. It's a deep one, bro. Like, why do we serve? And Goose spoke about this a little bit on Talk to Me this week. Goose, why do we serve? What is the purpose of us serving?
It's sort of like the example our good friend Dave always gives us. He shows us a piece of paper, we've just all this scribble on it, and he goes, this piece of paper is a drawing for my kids to my grandpa. You give my grandpa you give my dad, so the kid's grandpa, you give my dad the Mona Lisa, we'll throw it in the bin. You give him any painting, we'll throw it in the bin. You give him this piece of paper, we'll hang it on the fridge, we'll frame it, we'll love it. Why? Because it's from his grandkids. It's the motive behind it is what we do it for in terms of what is valuable to God. Don't you think whatever we can do for God, God can get someone to do it a lot better than us? It's not the thing we are doing, it's the motive behind it, it's the heart behind it, is what's valuable to God. It's like I said on the podcast, it's not the habit God wants, he wants the heart. I once remember in cleaning ministry, one of our good friends, I won't say who, he rocked up to cleaning ministry and he just kept complaining, and then one of the boys go to him, it's better you don't come, you don't do it, than to stay here, do it with a bad attitude with it. Because it doesn't mean anything.
That's right.
Like you'll spend more time and get more value out of doing something else than coming here and doing it with a bad attitude. So you got to have a good heart behind it, and that's what's valuable to God. Let me tell you, he can get someone else who's way better at cleaning to clean the church and do a way better job, but there's a reason why you're doing it, is to show how much you love God and where your heart's at.
I like that motive.
Very good. We've got to remember that ministry requires sacrifice. And then you talk about the motive behind it, yeah? Well, Christ paid the ultimate sacrifice and died on the cross for us. And so there's one thing that's always stuck by me in serving is if he died for me, why can't I live for him? So for me, every time I go to serve, I think of the fact that Christ died for me, that the least I can do is go mop the church, even if it's a rubbish job. Go and move tables. Go set up chairs. The thing behind it is I have to put in my memory, personally, that Christ died for me, therefore I will live for him. And whatever it takes, someone needs to live. It's the motive in doing it from a pure heart. Because if you're going to go into doing something for God grudgingly, don't do it.
100%.
Don't do it. Because I've had to experience both sides of the coin. I've had to think like, man, I don't want to do this, whatever, I'll do it. And it's become, and I've made it such a sour experience that at one point it started to become a habit where I started to think, like, man, I don't do this. And the joy that I used to find in ministry just used to go away. So I think you got to realize, again, we're doing it for Christ. You know, he paid the ultimate sacrifice for us. The least we can do is help out in any way we can in the church. And we must be pure at all times. Our heart must be pure at all times.
And that is the whole point, is the motive, the sacrifice. Like, Christ is trying to teach us something there. But I think the best explanation for this question was something that was the sermon on Sunday morning from Pastor Tom. He was talking about love and our how we show love. Was it Pastor Tom? Pastor Mansell?
Sunday morning? It's Pastor Tom.
Pastor Tom? Yeah, anyway. One of the sermons from Sunday, mate, he said, you want to show love, you serve. And that's not just love God. You want to show love to others, you serve them. You want to show love to God, you serve him. It's an act of our love. It's us showing God, no, we do love you, and we want to do something to prove that to you. Like they always say, words are nothing, but your actions is so much more.
Pastor Mansell once said, people tend to think love is a feeling when mostly love is an action.
100%. That's spot on. And I think that is the biggest thing in regards to service and answering this question is we love God and we want to do something for him. Stato.